Hi everyone, I'm Brian Goodwin, President and CEO of McREL International. Every month I write a column in ASCD's educational leadership magazine called Research Matters. This month my colleague Lisa Jones and I, for the October issue called Trauma Sensitive Schools, wrote a column called A Right Way to Address Trauma. We know right now that sadly, recent studies have found 7 in 10 of our students are experiencing some form of mental health needs and concerns. So how can we help them with this? Well, one solution may actually be sitting right in front of you right now, which is writing in a journal, just simply putting our thoughts on paper. In fact, in recent years, there have been studies of something called expressive therapy, which is a way to help people write down how they're feeling so they can better process their emotions. Because here's the one thing we know is that we tend to experience traumatic events as a jumble of emotions that we replay in our minds, but not necessarily in any kind of coherent sequence or order. So one of the first things that writing can do is help us create more of a coherent narrative for what's happening in our lives. And the second, maybe more important thing, is as we write down our experiences and our thoughts and our emotions, we can begin to engage in something called cognitive behavioral therapy. This has been around for a long time. In fact, it's been found to be, in some cases, more effective than medication for addressing mental issues and mental depression. And basically what cognitive behavioral therapy does is it teaches people to re-examine their thoughts and see, do I have patterns of exaggerated thinking going on? For example, one cognitive distortion is catastrophizing. Taking an event and playing it out to its worst possible outcome. So for example, maybe students would say, I'm not getting text messages from my friends right now. I think they're trying to ditch me. I'm going to end up having no friends. That's one. Another one is called filtering, only looking at the negative and not looking at the positive. Maybe forgetting, for example, that just a couple days ago, there was a group text message and everyone was having fun with that, right? But just kind of discounting that, saying, but still, I've not heard anything for 2 days and I'm going to the bad place again. Or something called emotional reasoning. Like if I feel bad about something, something bad must be happening. And then we wrap our logic and our thoughts around that emotion as opposed to using logic to kind of maybe unpack the emotion and unravel it. So when kids are engaged in writing, here are a few steps you can ask them to do. Just first of all, recall the event and turn it into a more coherent narrative. What happened? And next, then think about write down how they're feeling about it. What emotions they're experiencing. That's the second step. The third step can be to really look at are there some exaggerated thinking going on? Are there some cognitive distortions? You can find a whole list of what the cognitive distortions are online. Do my thoughts reflect some cognitive distortions? Can I unravel those a bit? And a fourth good step is just to be a helper. Think about how might I help somebody else who was experiencing the same emotions, had the same struggles, had the same traumatic event? What can they learn from it? And that will help kids get to a point where they can say, this has been difficult, but there are some things I've learned from it or ways that I'm going to come out of this a better person, a stronger person. So, for me, this all kind of makes me think about one of my favorite quotes from Flannery O'Connor, which is, I write because I don't know what I think until I read what I say. So hopefully you'll find this helpful. By the way, we're not saying that teachers ought to be therapists. Think of this as like a first-tier intervention. Might be a way, to help kids kind of early on process what are difficult emotions. It may, in some cases, trigger for you that I need to take this somewhere else. I need to get a professional involved to help a particular student. Hopefully you find this helpful. Feel free to reach out to me or Lisa if you've got questions about it. And as always, keep reading ASCD's Educational Leadership Magazine each month. Thank you all very much.